I'm Cindy, and thank you for joining me here at Cindy's Got Questions. Tonight, I'm getting ready to go to the school board meeting, but I thought I'd let you know what I'm going to be speaking about, just in case you don't pull it up on their website. I'll be talking about Janeke Fields. You know, the district has spent over $100,000 of capital levy money on Janeke Fields. And with the new capital levy that they're going to vote on in February, you know, they're calling it not the capital levy, but the building maintenance, yada, 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 goes on and on and on levy. And they want to spend another $700,000 on Janeke Fields. Math tells us that's $800,000. And who knows? It could end up being $1 million. But last year, the district only collected just over $9,000 in rental fees. Wow, that doesn't even pay for the maintenance. I did a records request and I asked for real usage numbers. I asked for dates and amounts and hours used and which field was used, etc. But what I got was a fancy report. It's full of charts, full of pie charts and all sorts of stuff. All the stuff I didn't ask for. So I had to parse it out, do the math myself, and here's what the numbers actually say. Most of the groups, which would be two actually, paid $20 or less per hour. One group paid just $11 an hour. Another paid $8.52 per hour. And the lowest rate anyone paid was 16.7 cents per hour to use Janeke Fields. You know, so while our kids are struggling, we spend hundreds of thousands of levy dollars to let a few groups use $1 million field for nothing. This is their numbers. I didn't make it up. Meanwhile, the district loves to repeat our vision statement. Every student graduates with the knowledge and skills for future learning and success. They say every. That should mean 100%, not most, not some, all of them. But the same people who brag about that vision, they showed the school board an iReady growth report last summer. It was dressed up with some pretty colors and a nice positive spin. So much so that I was impressed. So I did a records request to get a copy of that. Well, when you read it, the actual data and some of the verbiage in there, it actually says in there that over 80% of our students are struggling in math and reading to be able to do those things at grade level. You know, they put lipstick on a pig and call it good news. And we're being asked to pay more for taxes, while nearly $1 million goes to a field that brings in almost no money. Groups use it for pennies on the dollars, and 4 out of 5 of our students can't read or do math at grade level. We love our kids and we love this community, but we deserve honest numbers. We need to know the money actually spent on education, not PR, not nearly free rentals. You know, Central, their foundation is sinking. Clear Lake has one of their buildings, their foundation is sinking. Samish asked for 4 portables, and the portables were bought. And then after the portables were bought, at least this is what the parents know, they were told that their well system wouldn't be able to handle the fire suppression and extra people to handle those portables. So they gave the portables to Evergreen. Okay, fair enough. But why would you buy portables and not know if your well system is going to be able to handle the extra usage? Why? Why is Central going to get new windows And yet they have a sinking foundation that even the long-range committee says the sinking foundation is affecting the current windows. So we're going to put new windows in so that those will be affected, and in a few years then they won't be working, right? It just makes no sense. Who's making these decisions? Let's just dress it up and call it a day. Mr. Howland stood up at the last school board meeting when I brought up about the windows, and he said something that just blew my mind. First of all, if we want windows, we should get windows for all the schools, so we should all be paying more in taxes. And then he said that all of the schools look wonderful. He said he's been doing this for years. I think it's the mid-90s that he's been on the long-range committee, and the schools have never looked better. Tell that to the parents at Samish. There's mold growing. Tell that to the parents at Lyman. Their playground isn't playable. The kids can't really play on it. It's dangerous. The decision making is just so bad. Evergreen got a brand new air conditioning system, but the powers that be decided that they weren't going to upgrade the controls. We live in the computer age. You know that if you're going to get something new, you have to make sure your old stuff works with the new stuff. It just doesn't do it automatically, and that's what's happening at Evergreen. So after all the money spent, I think it was $500,000 off the top of my head. I'd have to go look at the numbers again, but the old controls do not work well with the new air conditioner. So they turn the air conditioning on, and then it turns itself off because they don't like talking to each other. But ha ha ha, that's funny. Brent, that's the way Brett puts it. Oh, well, it doesn't work. Well, tell that to the students when it's 80 degrees outside. Oh, shucks. So what? So we're just asking that the powers that be start looking at things and working from the foundation up and realizing that the whole part of being a school district is to teach. That is your main goal, that people are able to read, write, and do arithmetic. That is the main goal of education. Football, all of that, great stuff, fun stuff. I enjoyed it in high school, but that is not the main goal. Well, tomorrow I'm going to be going to the Samish school. They're having a parent group meeting. I'm going to go ahead and upload this here in a minute, and so I said Tuesday, but it's going to come up here Monday night. So I'm going tomorrow to the Samish school. I'll be at the library. They're going to have a parent group meeting because they've invited district leaders to show up because they've got questions. They're upset. They were promised things that they haven't gotten. They were promised a new parking lot. They don't have it. Everything's pushed ahead, pushed ahead, pushed ahead. It's on the next levy, but it's like year 4, I think, that they get it. But in the meantime, there'll be a new track, there'll be a new football field, and there will be new tennis courts. Brand new 3 tennis courts. Yeah. Well, you have a good evening, and by Wednesday or Thursday, I'll have a video of an update of what happened at Samish and some more information of things that I'm finding out about. Our community is a wonderful community. Don't get me wrong. We love it here. I don't want to leave Cedar Woolley. I really don't. I can't think of anywhere else that I'd rather live right now. I don't even want to go on vacations. I love it here so much. But we need to look at things honestly. And we need to start at the foundation, and we need to work our way up to new football fields, work our way up to the track and to the tennis courts. and start at the beginning and start with the foundations. Thank you for your time. Bye-bye.